I have an idea, kind of like a tip for the incoming president and his administration. Now, imagine you own a cheese factory and you're having an issue with mice. There's lots of mice, lots of rats, because you don't have any fencing around your cheese factory. So you try to install the fencing and you hire some fancy security services to patrol the fences, but the mice are still coming in. And why are they coming in is because you have cheese, right? So no matter how many people you put at the border, you hook up electricity to the fence, I mean the border on the property, you hook up electricity, you drop crocodiles in the canal near the fence, you have some dogs, the mice are still coming. Why? Because they still want the cheese, okay? So just finding the mice and escorting them outside of the fence is not gonna solve the problem, right? So I would say number one is either you do some kind of an experiment and you make mice hate the cheese. You do some kind of you hire some scientists, and they do some crazy, gene surgery, and the mice stop being attracted to the cheese. Or you close down your factory and you get rid of the cheese and you switch your factory from the cheese production to, I don't know, macaroni, pasta production. And then mice are like, what the heck? We want cheese, So anyway, sorry for the long introduction, but I think the US and basically most countries, they are wrong about how they are trying to protect themselves from illegal immigration. Now think about it. Why people immigrate? Why people cross the border? Why they risk their lives? Like crossing those rivers, and like there was a couple in Canada. Sorry, some Indian family, husband and wife, and a small kid, or two kids even, tried to cross either into or from Canada, and they froze to death. Now, how desperate do you have to be in order to subject yourself to such extreme circumstances? So why they're coming to US in this case, right? We're talking about the States. They come into US because they want a better life. Now, a better life is not possible without a job, okay? So unless you're some rich, SOB, and you have, like, I don't know, you bring, a few $100,000 in cash, then probably you don't have to work. But most migrants, right, all of these illegals, they have to make money somehow in order to survive. And that's why my advice comes in, because I just watched on the news. So Trump becomes president on Monday, which is January 20th, right? And Homeland Security plans to start raids against illegal immigrants on Tuesday. So they're going to try to round up all these people that have been here probably, I don't know, 5-10 years and kick them out. So everybody says it's not realistic because it's going to be super expensive and it's just going to be a waste of money. Again, because this is like in my previous example with, you're trying to take mice and throw them over the fence while you still have the cheese. Now here's my idea. None of these immigrants, illegal immigrants, would be able to survive if people did not hire them to work. Okay? So that's the ultimate goal, is to cut off the money supply. Like, you go to US, but if some laws were implemented where people cannot hire you unless you're legal, then you're screwed. There's no work, you cannot make any money. It's kind of like similar the way it was in the Soviet Union, where you needed to have a residency permit in your passport, and otherwise nobody will hire you. You have to have that registration, propiska in Russian, and that's how they prevented people from migrating, because when I lived there, I cannot just pack my bags and, let's say, okay, I live in Kirovograd, Ukraine, part of the USSR, and let's say, hey, I got tired of the cold weather, I want to go to Yalta, Crimea, which was still part of the USSR. But once I'm there, I don't have that residency permit. Nobody would hire me. Of course, that changed when the USSR broke apart, but before that, you needed that residency permit to get a job, and that's why most people just stayed in place. They would not migrate to other towns and cities inside the USSR, because employers, it was very strict. So нет прописки, нет работы. So no residency permit, no job. And so I think the easiest way to eliminate this immigration problem is, instead of attacking the immigrants, the mice, you have to attack the cheese, the employers. So they have to implement some kind of laws with huge fines, so that employers do not hire illegal immigrants. That's the key, because if immigrants cannot get a job, that's it. That's the end of the line. Like, what are you going to do in the States when your money runs out? So let's say you come over here with a couple of $1,000s, but nobody will hire you, So the real culprit is the guy, some kind of, some kind of a landscaping business, greenhouse business, that are perfectly okay with hiring illegal immigrants and paying them cash. Okay, if those kind of people would be, targeted and prosecuted, and some huge fines would be levied, that would definitely solve this immigration problem in the States. So, because again, just like with my previous example with the mice, no matter what kind of fencing you put up, no matter how many border guards you recruit to protect that fence, people will still come to the States because they can get a job. They don't need any permit, they don't need any registration anywhere, no visa, because somebody hires them for, like, $5 an hour and pays them cash, and they're willing to do it because this way they still make like 10 times more than what they're making in their home country. Okay, so target the employers who hire illegal immigrants, and you will solve this illegal immigration problem.